It just seemed like no matter what you wanted to do, you could find a reason to be mad at this album. And to me, she took no side. She was doing her own thing on this album, and none of it was good. The meltdowns, you guys. The horror show. Let me tell you something right now. When she announced that she had a new album coming out on her soon-to-be brother-in-law's podcast, I thought to myself, well, this is going to be some trash, because you're announcing it in such a weird way. On a football podcast with a couple of bros? I mean, what are you doing? It was just so not her market that I thought, we're not going to see what we've known from Taylor Swift. I knew it. And I should have said it when I thought it, because now it seems like I'm just like making things up. But I remember thinking, this is weird. I wonder what we're going to get from this. Now, there were a lot of people who thought, well, she's happy now. What we like from Taylor Swift are breakup songs. We like it when she's crying and upset, because we're crying and upset, and we can really, she sings our pain, she sings our sadness, she really sticks it to the guy who used and abused her low these many years, That's what we wanted. But, she's happy now. She wants to get married now. And according to her, she wants to have, a block full of kids that look just like her soon-to-be husband. So people were not thrilled when they heard the album. But one reason that people were dramatically disappointed, just straight out of the gate, even people who were willing to give the album a pass in a lot of other respects, was that the production value was way lower than they expected it to be, since she'd been bragging so much. And she was going to reunite with producers who had made her very popular in the past. And when it was clear that their sound wasn't as prominent as we all expected it to be, folks were disappointed. Why? What's happening here? You promised us more of the hits from, say, off of your 1989 album, and then I'm getting this junk. A lot of the songs had recycled sounding tunes. None of it sounded original. It sounded like stuff from the Jackson 5 or even from the Jonas Brothers. It was not music that we thought was going to be as revolutionary as she suggested that it might be. So the tunes were a little worn out. The production value was a little bit lame. And then came the lyrics. Oh, the lyrics. Folks were crashing out over the lyrics. Now, of course, InStyle was like, she's getting fun. And everyone else was like, what the hell is this trash? People were listening to this and literally jaws dropping because the lyrics were filthy. And they were not indicative of the Taylor Swift that people have come to know. Taylor is not a sexy person. She's not sexy. I mean, she's never really been selling sex. Even when she wears skimpy clothes, it's hard to think of her as a sexy person. So even all of her album art was kind of shocking. I don't think we've seen this much thigh and belly and boobs from Taylor ever. So I think we should have anticipated that the album was going to be provocative, because the art was provocative. The pictures were, from the perspective of critiquing art and just the colors and all the textures, the art for the album was a 10 out of 10 compared to the 4 out of 10 that the album was. It's like she put all of her effort into the art and into what she wanted the art to say about her, and the image she wanted you to have of her as finally being the sexy person. And then she spent like zero time working on the album. She really should have reversed that. Like maybe a little less on the pictures and a little more on the music we have to listen to. Okay, because people are going to have to be just sitting there like this, looking at the art in order to get anything out of all the work that you did on this album. But anyway, she came across in these songs as trying to be something that she isn't. She isn't considered a sexy person, and I don't think anybody has tuned into her because she is. She's likable. There's something girl next door-ish about her. There's something approachable about her. And now she's singing about her future husband's penis. That's gross. Don't do that. Don't give me lines like, your love is the thing that opened my thighs. Like, that's gross. Like, don't talk about opening your thighs. That's like a gross phrase. Opening your thighs to this man. I'm just like, gross. Like, if that's the way you guys want to talk, when the bedroom's doors closed and the blinds are closed, that's fine. You two do your thing. We know you are. But why are you letting me in on that? I don't want to know about that. She sings a song where basically she's saying everybody wants all this stuff. They want money for all these things, but that's not what I want. What I want is basically to live this suburban dream where, you have a basketball court in the driveway and you got a whole pack of kids running the neighborhood. And I just basically want it to be you and me. She mocks people who think of their dogs as their kids. I'm going to have some real babies with my man. And so there was a lot of people like, wait a second, what happened to the cat loving woman who basically acted like she and her cats were all she needed and that she kind of shunned the idea of marriage? So then there was the whole political side of people feeling like she had, decided to be this far right conservative, woman who wants to go churn her own butter and make her own sourdough and have a whole pack of kids and, basically is just going to stand by her man no matter what. I don't care what she decides to do. Like, I think the conservatives made way too big a deal when she got married. I mean, how many conservative commentators did I see be like, well, finally, she's getting married. She's going to settle down and have some kids and, like, be a good woman. And I just remember being like, she's getting married like so many hundreds of others. Just because she decides to do something traditional doesn't mean that she's officially going to be a trad wife or something. But some of her music does make it seem like she's leaning more that way, though at the same time, she's singing such lyrics as, I make all the deals with the devil because my dick is bigger. Like, I don't know any trad wife you're going to find who's singing that. So it just seemed like no matter what you wanted to do, you could find a reason to be mad at this album. If you wanted to be like, oh, yay, she's on our side. She's hyper conservative now, wants all those kids in a suburban house. Or you could be like, wow, she's wilding out with these lyrics talking about her big dick. And meanwhile, she's making a disgusting diss track to this other girl who has called her out for a variety of reasons. And so she spends an entire song dissing this other woman, basically being like, if you like me so much, you must want to marry me. And using such gross terms as, when you're coming at me like that, it makes me wet. It's like, who is this person? This is disgusting and gross. So to me, she took no side. She was doing her own thing on this album and none of it was good. Okay. And I just think that all the high drama around it is ridiculous. Now, I'll tell you one place I can get in on some of the anger, angst, and indignation. And it's that I don't know why she's trying to market this album the way she is. There's like 4 different iterations of this album. Also a movie that came out on release day. You could go to the theaters and see this movie that accompanied it. It's just like she keeps just wringing this project out for every drop, every dime, every penny that she can get. And I think it's tasteless because the album's bad. It's been panned by critics. Even hardcore Swifties who are trying to smile through their tears are like, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be better than this. There's only 12 songs on it. It's just like, it's not what it could be. It's not what people had hoped that it would be. And then for her to keep shoving it in our faces with, here's another song with like a couple of different notes in it, a couple of different words. It's like, look, you're going to need it. Just, is there a place I can get some 12 new songs? Is there a place I can go for like a completely different album? Point me in that direction. You want to sell me that? But whatever this was, it was not it. And everyone was angry. She's come out to say that it doesn't matter because if you're talking about her or her album, she still wins. So what does she care? But if we're going to talk about clones, who cloned Taylor Swift? Okay, what's going on with her Rubbermaid face? It's like she had something done to her face recently because everything is just very tight and not moving. And, she's always had interesting eyes. Her eyebrows and her eyes have always been a very specific to her character trait. So I'm not saying that she's had an eye lift, but it does feel like her eyes are like this. Like she is looking like this. And I don't know how she sees out of her eyes because they're pulled so tight that we're getting like this weird wrinkle at the top. Then I'm like, what's happening here? Like there's just a lot of just, it's just like, and her skin's not moving, and it's rubber maskish. Anyway, she's not here for the critics, okay? So everyone can complain and whine, but she knows she's still raking in all the dollars. Everyone still bought the album. Everyone's still talking about her. She's still Queen Bee. So what does she care? She's going to get married. She's excited about that. And, she's just not going to be able to make the music she used to make. She made breakup songs. People liked her because she was a hurt young girl, and there's lots of hurt young girls out there who like to put on the music, cry in their cars while they drove to work for another day. And this is a person who isn't at the place in her life where she wants to talk about how she's unhappy or how people have been mean to her, which is why she's reduced to writing catty diss tracks to general nobodies, People don't want that weird catty diss track. They want songs where they've been hurt by a lover. And she's not hurt by a lover. So she's not going to write an album about that. She's in a happy place. Are her songs weird because she wants to talk about her sex life now? Yes. No one wants to hear it. Is she awkward as hell because she's not known for that and now she's trying to write sexy songs? That's Sabrina Carpenter's lane, And a lot of the music, honestly, on this sounded like Sabrina Carpenter music. Sabrina Carpenter is even on this album. I was like, did you let Sabrina Carpenter do this for you? Because a lot of these, so many of the tunes, the lyrics, it didn't sound like Taylor. what I'll say about Sabrina Carpenter is she can write a couple of bops, but her entire playlist sounds like something that she just made goofing off with her friends. Every single time I listen to anything she does, I mean, catchy tunes for sure. She thinks she's extremely clever with her lyrics. Sometimes she is, sometimes she isn't. But everything sounds incomplete. There's a real incomplete sound to Sabrina. All of her songs sound like she could have kept going, but she's like, I'm tired of it. And she was like, oh, it's a wrap. And the general clunkiness of Sabrina Carpenter, I feel like, was very applicable to what Taylor was giving us. There was just a general clunkiness to it. It's like, is this it? Is this all I'm getting? That's my final word about Taylor Swift. There's a lot of people who are like, this is disappointing. Lyrically, she's always been a queen. Who has she become now? Can I remind you about a song that she wrote many, many years ago called Me? And these are the lyrics to Me. I know that I'm a handful, baby. I know I never think before I jump. And you're the kind of guy the ladies want. And there's a lot of cool chicks out there. I know that I went psycho on the phone. I never leave well enough alone, and trouble's gonna follow where I go. And there's a lot of cool chicks out there. But one of these things is not like the others, like a rainbow with all the colors. Baby doll, when it comes to a lover, I promise that you'll never find another like me. I know I tend to make it about me. I know you never get just what you see, but I'll never bore you, baby. There's a lot of lame guys out there. And when we had that fight out in the rain, and you ran after me and called my name, I never want to see you walk away. And there's a lot of lame guys out there. 'Cause one of these things is not like the others. Living in winter, I'm your summer. Baby doll, when it comes to a lover, I promise that you'll never find another like me. Hey kids, spelling is fun. Girl, there ain't no I in team, but there is a me. Strike the band up 1, 2, 3. I promise that you'll never find another like me. Girl, there ain't no I in team, but there is a me. And you can't spell awesome without me. I promise you'll never find another like me. So I just feel like I want to support those who feel that she has betrayed them. No, this is who she is. She just did it even worse this time. But she's happy now. So maybe you need to find somebody else to write your breakup songs.